Welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to go over what I personally think are the most important things that you need to be doing pretty much every day if you want to see real growth. When I started lifting, I would like 180 pounds at 16 years old. That was about 5 years ago. Now I'm 220 pounds, and back then I was probably about 16% body fat. Right now I'm around 14, 15, so about 40 pounds of muscle tissue that has been added to my physique naturally. And yes, genetics have played a role in my growth, but at the same time, not as much as you would think, because before I started lifting, my physique was not crazy. I definitely had more defined shoulders, I guess, but I was nowhere near someone who would be looked at and people would say oh, that's a genetic freak. Not at all. So I honestly attribute all my growth to what I've put in and the time, energy, effort, all of that I've spent in the gym, in the kitchen, and I guess in my bed sleeping. I'm gonna get into the actual important parts, but before I get into the actual step-by-step boxes that you need to be checking every single day, the most important thing with this is that it's really not a difficult process. It's a pretty simple process putting on muscle, but what a lot of people fall short on is the consistency. I cannot preach how consistent you have to be for this to work. This shit is really not that hard. What's driven my growth is the fact that I've been so consistent day in, day out, ever since I was 16 years old. I've separated myself and my physique because I'm consistent, not necessarily on the specific principles and specific rules that I followed. Obviously that plays into it, but consistency trumps all. So really get that in your head. So now let's get into the 3.5 main points. I say 3.5 because the last point is there's really not much to it. It's just one rule that you should follow if you want to maximize muscle growth. The first principle, the first building block is training intensity. This is where you actually stimulate your muscles to grow. You need to give a reason for your muscles to grow. It doesn't just happen. So training intensity, when you're in the gym, you are wasting time if you're just going through the motions. Every time I went into the gym, I was reaching that tipping point, really pushing my limits. And I can't really explain to you what that limit is, because you know what that limit is. We all know what that limit is. And if we're lying to ourselves about reaching that max capacity or not, you will genuinely know deep down if you are truly fatiguing yourself and truly pushing yourself. So training intensity, you need to be picking a weight that's challenging you. I always recommend going to failure so that you don't really leave any room for error of, oh, did I do enough? Did I not do enough? If you go to failure, it's guaranteed, okay, I pushed myself. End of discussion. Because trying to find the optimal rep to stop at, it's just too much thinking, and it's why would I take a gamble? I'd rather put in more work than I have to. I mean, it's really not that deep. It's one extra rep, 2 extra reps. Just train to failure. That's my principle. That's my take. So again, picking a weight that is challenging you with good form, obviously. 6 to 8 reps is what I aim for pretty much every single movement. Maybe bench press, I aim on the lower side just because right now I want to see my strength increase, but 6 to 8 reps, pushing to failure. I can't articulate what that true fatigue is for you, and you'll just know it. You will know. And if you don't know, you haven't reached that point yet. That's my philosophy on training to failure. It's a pretty simple thing to execute. You go in, you train hard, boom. Next up is nutrition, and this is so important because a lot can go wrong with nutrition if you're not doing it properly. So rule number 1, eat as clean as you can. You're not going to be perfect. I am not perfect by any means, but be conscious of what you're eating. You want to be able to identify the macros on your plate. That's how I look at it. Use your proteins in your beef, your carbs in your rice or potatoes, and then some fats with avocado or whatever it is. Just keep meals simple. It doesn't matter if you're cutting, if you're bulking. The more simplified it is, the easier it is, just so that your body can get in a routine. It's also good for you. Just because you can eat a lot more doesn't mean you should just fill those extra calories with junk all the time. I mean, have fun, but don't go overboard. Don't make it a daily habit to be throwing junk food in your routine, because clean foods are going to fuel you. You're going to feel better. better digestion. Again, it's just good for like other things outside of muscle growth. Like a lot of gym bros don't think beyond putting on tissue. Like you got to think about your digestion, your skin health, like all that stuff. It's important. There are actually like vitamins and things in whole foods. So trust me, I used to be like a processed protein snack demon, and I felt like shit. So I've moved beyond that. So clean foods, hitting your protein goal, 1 gram per pound of body weight is a very safe rule. Again, similar to training to failure, it's kind of up in the air, like where's the sweet spot? So if you're unsure where the sweet spot is, always lean on the extreme side. That's what I do. Like, why would I push the limits and see how little I can get away with? It doesn't make sense. 1 gram per pound of body weight, you're set. For the best training sessions, I would train later in the day so you have some carbs in your system. Carbs and water, that's what's really going to drive intense training sessions. I don't advise training fasted. I've never really trained fasted unless I had to for my schedule, but if it's up to me, I'm training at like 4 p.m., 5 p.m. so I have adequate carbs and water and sodium in my system. I promise you, it makes a difference. You might not think it makes a difference. If you normally train fasted, eat 200 grams of carbs, 200 plus grams of carbs throughout the day, and hydrate, and then train at like 4 p.m. and get back to me. It's night and day. In terms of strength too. Strength, pumps, energy, focus. It's just the best. So again, keeping this as simple as possible. That's really the main thing that I think of when it comes to a nutrition framework. Clean foods, protein, and then just paying attention to how your body reacts to certain foods. A lot of trial and error is necessary when you're building your own diet. What foods work well for you? What do you feel energized off of? What slows you down? What gives you bad digestion? Like, pay attention to those things so you can kind of customize your own diet, because what works for me might not work for you. And there are like general staples within fitness and building muscle, like chicken and rice, whatever. Do what you want. I think if it's clean, you have enough protein and you're getting enough carbs and fats in, like, it's not that deep. It's one of those things where you can fine tune it as much as you want, but it's probably going to have negligible effects. So as long as you're covering those main areas of interest, protein and eating clean foods, you're set. Second to last is sleep. Sleep is so important. Like, that's where you're actually growing and building muscle. It's not in the gym when you're training. Getting 8 hours of sleep every single night of like perfect high quality sleep is not always realistic, and that's totally fine. Just be as consistent as you can, right? Like, if you're out, maybe it's like, I don't know, an event, or you're out with your friends and something that you can't really control and you don't get the best sleep, that's okay. It happens. You know, it's once every couple of weeks. That happens to me. But if you're staying up, like scrolling or playing video games, like, that's what's like, okay, this is easily avoidable. Go to bed earlier, get 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. I like to keep my room cold. 68 degrees is like the optimal temperature. I sleep better when it's cold. And try and avoid eating too close to bedtime. You don't want to be trying to digest food and also trying to fall asleep. That lowers the quality of your sleep. That's just like a smaller detail within quality sleep. But again, if you can try and just get 7 to 9 hours and you get in a routine with that, that's going to be like so fundamental for growth. And lastly, my favorite, which is a little bit more, I wouldn't say niche, but I don't think people talk about it as much, is limiting or eliminating alcohol consumption. Alcohol slows muscle growth, and if you're trying to lose fat, it's not good for that either. Like, it's not good for you at all in any sense besides having a good time, which, like, enjoy yourself every once in a while. But if you're genuinely serious about putting on muscle, like you really want to prioritize this, I would cut out alcohol. I mean, I don't really drink. Sometimes I do. It really just depends on like the scenario, who I'm with. If I'm gonna be like doing that in that place again, like if it's a one-time thing, if I'm traveling, whatever, yeah, I'll drink. But for the most part, like ever since I was 16, alcohol's not been something that's like normal in my life or normal when having fun. And I've just gotten used to it. That's a sacrifice that's like completely up to you. If you want to make that, sure. But what's on the other side of cutting out alcohol, I think, is really valuable. And again, it's really just about how serious you want to take it. If like prioritizing your social life and going out and having fun is really important to you, like, speak your truth. I'm not one to judge, but what I am saying is, you know, if you want to lock in every single variable, that's a really important one. So overall, basically, like, my approach to building a solid physique and putting on real lean tissue is just prioritizing this stuff. Training, dieting, recovering can't just be on the back burner anymore. It can't just be, oh, I'm gonna do it when I feel like it. It has to be, honestly, like, as routine as brushing your teeth. It genuinely becomes integrated into your day. It's no longer, oh, should I lift today? Should I not? Oh, I don't feel like eating more protein, so I'm not going to. Like, it's not really up for debate anymore if you want to take it seriously. So I'm always looking forward to, like, winter time, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, early January, because something about it, like, I don't know, I just find them super dialed with my training and my diet and my recovery. And so I really value this time to just go 100% all in. I really suggest you do the same. I don't know, you could call it like a winter arc, whatever. It sounds cringy, it sounds corny, but like, it's kind of fun, to be honest. Like, it's cold, it's dark, you're training, you're eating. Something about that, I don't know, I hold that close to me. I love my winter training sessions, but if you want the best results, obviously be doing this like year round. Although I think if you really want to dedicate some time to growth, at least just get ultra dialed for these next like 3 months, and then you'll start to build up momentum and see, like, okay, this is what my daily routine should look like. So I hope that helped. That's just a little insight into the things that I prioritize, and I honestly don't really think they're subjective. I think it's pretty well known that these 3.5 things are going to drive muscle growth. So yeah, thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next video.